Welcome back to Invisible UX. I know it's been a while, but I'm happy to be back and share some insights that I hope you'll find helpful. So today's video will cover the top 3 things that hiring managers look for in UX and product design candidates. Now, these are my opinions. This is my experience, but it's certainly what I've seen in the past. Several months at my current job. So, number 1, it doesn't matter what your degree is, whether you got it in HCI, human computer interaction, graphic design, psychology, pharmacy, business. What I've seen is if you can demonstrate in your portfolio that you can do the job, that far outweighs any candidate that has that degree but has an inferior portfolio and can't really talk about the type of work that they've done in the past. I think this is quite motivating. There's a lot of people coming into UX or product design from adjacent fields, and I've talked to a lot of people that are hesitant to make that transition because they don't have that degree. If you work hard, if you have several projects in your portfolio that demonstrate your involvement, that demonstrate a clear process, that demonstrate the problem and your solution to it, you're way ahead of the game. So that's item number 1. The degree doesn't matter. If you can walk the walk, you're good to go. Item number 2, I've got some notes here that I'm kind of cheat sheet. Further to item number 1, we talked about being able to demonstrate your process. Be able to demonstrate your process. There are several, seemingly well-qualified candidates that I've interviewed that couldn't really talk about how they, approached a UX design problem. So it all goes down to design thinking. Demonstrate your ability to apply design thinking and problem solving to a challenge, to a problem, and make sure that's clearly articulated in your portfolio. Your portfolio is the best match with your voiceover in helping to convince a hiring manager or someone that's interviewing you that not only do you have a strong, sound design process, but you understand it clearly, and you're able to talk about what that is and how you've applied it to the projects that you're sharing in your portfolio. So further to that, I've looked at several portfolios that are quite flashy. They have Reacts and all this cool stuff, kind of, unique. But when it came to their involvement on projects, they couldn't really talk about it. And I think it was this flashy portfolio site that they're trying to use to distract from the fact that maybe they haven't been deeply involved in the problem-solving aspect of UX. Maybe they're fantastic visual designers or interaction designers, but it's not hard to see through that if you're looking for a true UX designer. So yes, that's number 2. Number 3, don't try to fluff something. There's being confident and quote unquote faking it maybe a little bit until you make it, as the saying goes. But if an interviewer asks you something and you're just not aware of that concept or that practice or that process, don't try to just force your way through it. The interviewer is going to see right through you. It's going to waste your time, the interviewer's time. You're going to look kind of silly. Just acknowledge it. I found this to be quite successful. Early on, I would try. There've been a handful of occasions where I did try to fluff through it, and I could feel the interviewer's interest decline, and that was really the end of the interview at that point. But since adopting this kind of acknowledge that you're not aware of this thing, ask about it, but always be clear that you're willing to learn. An interviewer will appreciate that, and they'll tell you a little bit about whatever it is they're asking you about. So I think it helps to approach an interview with the mindset that you can't possibly know everything. The interviewer doesn't expect you to know everything. They're gonna, ask you about a range of things, and as long as you establish yourself as proficient in a good amount of those things they ask about, there's no harm in acknowledging that you're not exactly sure what something is. Sorry, my screensaver's going off. So there it is, the top 3 things, in my opinion, that I have found important in interviewing candidates for UX and product designer roles. Number 1, doesn't matter what your degree is, as long as you can do the work. Number 2, be able to clearly articulate your process, ideally with a voiceover that complements the products that are in your portfolio. And number 3, don't fluff it. If an interviewer asks you about something and you're not really sure what it is, acknowledge it. That's it for today, everybody. Leave any questions in the comments or anything else you want to hear about in future videos, and I'd be happy to accommodate. Until then, take care.